The reason why Jonathan loves his job is the dreams that it makes come true. As the #1 fan of the Lord of the Rings movies, he got to interview Peter Jackson, Sir Ian McKellen and Andy Serkis about their new Tolkien film The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. Take it away, Jono.
When Peter started filming his Hobbit trilogy, his lead had a TV series to finish, so he stopped all production to wait. Only one man could play
Bilbo Baggins. I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure.
I can't just go running off into the blue. I am a Baggins. Wait! Of Baggend.
Martin, it's a pleasure to have you on top of it.
Thank you.
And wow, what a journey. To think you almost had to give up on this role of a lifetime.
Yeah, I know. I look back on that sometimes and just think that would have been disappointing, to say the least. Yeah, I would have missed out on all of this, and I would have missed out on one of the most fulfilling jobs I'll ever do, I guess.
Here, Mr. Bilbo, where are you off to?
I'm going on an adventure!
Yeah, and Bilbo's got this fantastic character arc as well, from this cautious homebody to a brave and confident hero.
Well, he's a hero in the real sense, in that heroism is, you know, acts done by people who are scared, you know, because if you're not scared, then you're not doing real heroism, you know, because then it's just too easy, or you're psychotic or something, you know. But heroism on the battlefield is, you know, you still have to be scared. You know what I mean? Because, and no hero on the battlefield thinks they're being a hero, ever. They do it out of loyalty or out of just self-preservation or just instinct or whatever. So he's still never like a hero, but he certainly does heroic things, you know, for himself and most importantly for his friends.
Bilbo, allow me to introduce Fili, Kili, Oin, Loin, Darlin, Balin, Biffa, Buffa, Bumper, Nori, and the leader of our company, Thorin Oakenshield.
It's amazing there are 13 dwarves, but you all have your own unique personality.
Yeah, I think that was one of the challenges for Peter and Fran, his partner. You know, they've got such vivid imaginations, and I think to them one of the great challenges was to take these 13 dwarves, to give them individual looks, very much for them to be a brotherhood, but also so that an audience could recognise them all kind of individually, and I think they managed to achieve that.
They pulled it off, yeah, it's incredible.
You had quite an intensive dwarf boot training camp.
Yeah, about 12 weeks of it, I think, or 10 weeks of it or something. Yeah, we were horse riding and archery lessons and sword fighting and hand-to-hand combat kind of stuff, and singing lessons and movement classes. It was great.
And also a lot of training, a lot of actual gym work, because you know, we're regularly carrying over 30 kilograms every day, and moving around and kind of moving through difficult environments. So it was important to have built up stamina.
And it was a time as well when we got to really bond as a group of actors, as an ensemble and stuff, and get to know each other better, which is obviously quite important.
Apparently you guys had rings made.
We did.
Yeah,
sure. I have one in my pocket here.
Made by the original jeweler who made the first ring.
We have
so that's very special.
Personalised stories on the inside, and a little piece of a little gem from Erebor there. It's quite amazing, and of course it's easier to remove than
very special.
Yeah.
Mithrandir, why the halfling?
Why Bilbo Baggins? Perhaps it is because I'm afraid. And it gives me courage.
Don't tell any of the other guys, but Gandalf is my favourite character from the story, by far. Peter said something very interesting. He said once you've put on that cloak and that hat, you transform from this movie actor into this cultural icon.
I'm just the man who plays Gandalf. I can't take credit for having invented him. That was Tolkien. But it was easy enough to imagine what it would be like to be Gandalf. He's got a lot of humane qualities. A wizard, he might be 7,000 years old, but kids recognise in him the sort of grandfather they would like to have around the place, you know.
That's exactly
someone who likes fun and games as much as dispensing wisdom. And I based the voice and a little bit on Tolkien's own voice. I'm not the only person to play Gandalf. There is a very, very tall Gandalf who's a policeman in New Zealand who sometimes plays Gandalf from the back.
Yeah.
There's a riding double, because I'm not going to risk my life on the back of a wild horse galloping across Middle-earth. There's a fighting double. There are a lot of us, so I share the credit.
There's a lot of them, but there's only one Ian McKellen.
Well, thank you.
Why don't we have a game of riddles?
And if it loses, what then? lose his precious thing we eats it.
You've really carved yourself a niche in cinema culture with this type of performance.
It really wasn't the intended route, but yeah, I mean, I absolutely love the technology that enables you to play all of these different roles. It's an extraordinary, sense of liberation. What I've always loved about acting is the art of transformation, and this really enables you to go places that you just couldn't do under normal conditions.
Exactly, and we have your 3 cats to thank for this amazing voice.
When I was building the character the first time round of Gollum, it was very important to find something real, something tangible to base, what is the power of this ring, how does it affect this hobbit, and so the notion of addiction was very much what I based Gollum on, and I wanted an involuntary action that where he's called Gollum because of the way he sounds, so I wanted this sense of him not being able to control that, and Deers, my cat, coughed up a furball. It was exactly the sort of visceral kind of sound just emanating out of an involuntary physical action.
So this is your purpose?
Loyalty, honor, a willing heart. I can ask no more than that.
Your character is fantastic. It provides a great foil for Bilbo.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have an amazing dynamic, the two of you, the unassuming Bilbo, the arrogant Thorin.
Yes, and what's interesting about those 2 characters is that they are changed by each other. They learn about themselves through each other, which is always the most exciting journey to take 2 characters on for an audience perspective, when you can see ahead of them what they're facing, and you can see their flaws in themselves, and then you see them evolve. It's always a great place to be, especially in a digital world where everything's created. To have this sort of real fizz between characters is really exciting.
And you're a 6'2" guy playing a dwarf.
I am, yeah. And actually, they made me bigger. They put lifts in my shoes to make me bigger because they wanted me to be half an inch taller than Dwalin. But it's interesting because we spent most of the shoot bigger than ourselves. I think it really helped to understand the dwarf's ego, because they think big and they think of themselves as a big race and a noble race, and they don't really venture outside too often, so they don't know that everyone else is bigger than them.
Far to the east, over ranges and rivers, lies a single solitary peak. The dwarves are determined to reclaim their homeland.
There is something in your movies. You seem to have this sort of childlike sense of wonder. You're still that kid with an 8mm camera making movies in your backyard, and I think that translates to the audience. That's why they have so much fun.
If ever I get tired or I'm, driving to the set in the morning and I'm, feeling stressed or something, I always just say to myself, listen, is there anything else you'd rather be doing? I mean, that's the way that I give myself a boot up the backside, is I just say, is there anything else you would rather be doing right now than directing these films? And there's not, So I am just carrying on with my hobby, really. It is a hobby.
As for Peter Jackson's latest high-definition technique of shooting 48 rather than 24 frames per second, Jonathan found it electrifies already riveting action sequences. The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, is on at cinemas nationwide.